Close your eyes and picture a caveman. Chances are, you're imagining a wild-haired figure wrapped in furs, huddled around a cozy campfire inside a deep, sturdy stone cavern. It's the ultimate prehistoric home. Free rent, thick stone walls to block the howling Ice Age winds, and a natural fortress against terrifying predators. For decades, pop culture has sold us this exact story, that for hundreds of thousands of years, caves were humanity's default apartments. But here's the unsettling truth. That cozy caveman lifestyle is mostly a myth. In reality, living inside a cave could be a smoky, damp, bear-infested nightmare that could kill you before you reach 30. If you tried to make a cave your permanent home, smoke from your fire could trap carbon monoxide and soot inside, filling your lungs with harmful air. And that's if you weren't eaten first. So why did humans stay in caves at all? And what finally made our ancestors pack up and build the first houses? The answer isn't what you think. It wasn't about discovering how to build. It was a desperate escape from a stone-cold trap. To understand this escape, we have to look at a simple problem with the caveman myth. Caves are actually rare. If you were a hunter-gatherer wandering the vast mammoth steppes of prehistoric Europe or Asia, you could walk for weeks without seeing a limestone cave. If everyone depended on caves, most of the human population would have had nowhere to live. And even when people found caves, they usually didn't want to live deep inside them. Deep caves are pitch black, freezing, and wet. The humidity can be extremely high, creating conditions for mold, dampness, and respiratory problems. Archaeologists have found that ancient humans often used the entrances of caves and rock shelters rather than living deep underground. These areas provided sunlight, ventilation, and protection from rain without the worst conditions inside the cave.
Then there was the air. When you build a fire inside a stone chamber with only one entrance, there is no proper chimney. Smoke rises toward the ceiling, cools, and can fall back into the living area, filling the space with soot and harmful gases. Evidence from ancient human remains suggests that early people experienced respiratory problems, while fire soot left dark deposits on cave ceilings. Living inside a cave could be dangerously similar to living inside a giant exhaust pipe. But the smoky air wasn't the only problem. Humans weren't the only animals looking for shelter. For hundreds of thousands of years, people competed with powerful predators for the world's limited caves. Among their rivals were cave hyenas and enormous cave bears. Some cave bears could weigh close to a ton and had powerful bodies and huge claws. Every winter, when temperatures dropped, humans and animals needed the same protected spaces. Caves became valuable real estate, and claiming one could be dangerous. Even after securing shelter, there was always the possibility that another predator could enter during the night. Caves were also a trap because they couldn't move. A cave is fixed to the geology of the earth, but hunter-gatherers needed to move constantly. They followed reindeer, wild horses, mammoths, and seasonal plants. If they stayed in one place for too long, local food supplies could disappear. The cave was useful, but it could also become a geographical prison. So what did humans do? We didn't wait for evolution to hand us blueprints. We became Ice Age engineers. On the frozen, treeless plains of areas that are now Ukraine and Russia, archaeologists have discovered remarkable shelters built from mammoth bones. At Mezhirek, around 15,000 years ago, our ancestors created a small settlement containing four circular huts. Because wood was scarce on the barren landscape, they used the materials available to them. One shelter was built from about 149 mammoth bones, weighing tens of thousands of pounds. Large jawbones were arranged to form strong walls. Heavy skulls helped anchor the structure, and curved tusks supported a roof covered with hides. This wasn't simply a pile of bones. It was carefully designed Paleolithic architecture. Inside, the structure provided insulation from the freezing wind and contained a central hearth. Work areas helped organize tool-making, while objects such as amber ornaments show that these shelters were more than basic survival spaces. Most importantly, the shelters could be built where people actually needed them, rather than where geology happened to provide a cave. As the last ice age began to retreat around 12,000 years ago, the world became warmer. Mammoth herds disappeared, but the architectural knowledge humans had developed remained. Leaving caves wasn't simply about comfort. It helped unlock global expansion. By learning to build shelters from wood, mud, turf, and stone, humans were no longer controlled by the location of natural caves. They could settle beside fertile rivers, inside forests, and in places with strong agricultural potential. Hand-built houses also allowed people to improve sanitation, separate sleeping areas from fires, and create permanent communities. The transition from natural shelters to constructed houses helped create the conditions for agriculture, villages, and eventually civilizations. The next time you walk through your front door and enjoy the warm, smoke-free air of your living room, remember, you are benefiting from thousands of years of human engineering. We didn't simply leave caves because we outgrew them. We left because our ancestors realized that the only way to truly conquer the wild world was to build a piece of it ourselves.